I got my boom plays, sleepers, and streamers for week 15 coming at you right now. First up, my boom play for week 15 goes to Rico Dowdle. He has secured that RB1 role, and he has been nothing but ascending in these last 3 games. Back-to-back games, actually, he set career highs in rushing yards, so the arrow has been pointing up for him. There's really no competition in that backfield. He's playing 70% of the snaps, so therefore, that's RB1 workhorse tier where you come to the Rico Dowdle show when he has the matchup of the year against the Panthers defense. They are god-awful, the most rushing yards allowed. This is probably the best matchup he's had all season long, so he's definitely getting into starting lineups, and he's been a solid running back for you in your RB2/flex position, but I think he breaks the ceiling this week, putting up huge numbers against this Panthers defense and possibly finding the end zone. Regardless of how bad Cooper Rush has been, he has been the bright spot of this Cowboys offense, so boom play for week 15, Rico Dowdle. Now let's just dive into my sleepers because I know it's hard in the fantasy streets right now with injuries, guys not performing. But listen, Elijah Moore, he has some bipolar to his game. I will admit that because it's been hot, cold, snip, snap, snip, snap since Jameis Winston has become the starter. But the good news is he's taken advantage of the matchups that he actually gets. The Chiefs are allowing the second most completion to slot wide receivers this season. We know how Jameis Winston has been so aggressive of going downfield. 6 of those touchdowns that the Chiefs defense have allowed have come from slot wide receivers, 5 of those on passes of 10 plus yards. And I'm telling you now, Jameis Winston's going to want to continue airing it out, challenging this Chiefs defense. So I think there might be some touchdowns in Elijah Moore's future this week. So get him in starting lineups as a flex option. Next up, my next sleeper. Now follow me here. I know this defense is scary, but Anthony Richardson has top 5 potential this week. That's a hot take, but he's still a sleeper in starting lineups for me this week, going against this Broncos defense. But you look at what Anthony Richardson has been doing these last couple of weeks. I mean, the last 3 games, he has 29 rushing attempts, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 75% of those runs were by design. That's something that was not happening in the beginning of the season. And the Denver Broncos, they've been getting cooked through the air. And I'm talking about left on the barbecue and you're inside and the grill is still on, the meat is on the grill being completely cooked. You're getting a hockey puck if it's a burger. So I'm telling you now, this is where Anthony Richardson has been excelling in the run game lately and through the air. If you're going to be able to put him in starting lineups, you might want to stack Alec Pierce as well. So with Riley Moss still dealing with an injury, the Broncos starting corner, that's why Jameis Winston was able to take advantage of going so hard downfield and Jerry Jeudy having his revenge game. So I'm thinking Anthony Richardson takes advantage as well with some rushing upside this week. Now for another sleeper, this is only if you're in a tight spot, because me personally, I'm in a tight spot here with the unknown of Josh Dobbs, if he's going to be returning. Romeo Dobbs still in concussion protocol, not really feeling the matchup when it comes to other guys out there like Jaden Reed. So I'm looking at more so this matchup with Nick Westbrook-Akine as a flex option to have some sleeper appeal this week, going against the Bengals defense, who is god-awful, man. They are getting cooked through the air as well, and Will Levis is known to be taking the shots. And honestly, with the Bengals being top 10 in completions of 20 plus yards allowed, I like the odds of Will Levis taking those deep shots going against Joe Burrow, where they're going to have to be throwing the ball a ton. Look, Nick Westbrook-Akine leads the team in red zone targets, end zone targets, and obviously in touchdowns as well. So there is upside for him to find the end zone this week, with Will Levis taking those chances and constantly playing from behind and taking those shots to the end zone. Now to get into a streamer defense that I am surprised are still out there on the waiver wire. Rostered in less than half of leagues, the Ravens defense are a must start this week against Tommy DeVito and that Giants offense. Now I understand the secondary is cooked and Malik Neighbors could go off, but that is not the issue here. I really think this Giants O-line is worse than this Ravens defense, where I think there's going to be a ton of sack production with some possible takeaways, and I think this might be the best game that the Ravens have given us all season long. And they are streaming options for the next couple of weeks too in the playoffs. After that, they got the Pittsburgh Steelers with George Pickens still banged up, currently with this video being recorded with a hamstring injury. So who knows if that's his first game back, if he's going to be able to be back to form. Then you look at the championship week against the Texans. CJ Stroud has not been playing up to tier. He is averaging less fantasy points per game than Bryce Young. He has not been finding the end zone as much as lately. So therefore, I think this is a perfect setup to jump on the Ravens right now and just ride them for the next 3 weeks into the championship and not have to be pulling your hair out trying to figure out what defense to find that are possibly still out there. But like I said, rostered in less than half of leagues, the Ravens are out there as an option this week and maybe for the weeks beyond. So that wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on what you guys think about the episode and your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. And you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.